Fabrega, founder of lisafabrega.com, and I'm also the creator of the Full Life Detox Immersion, a 4-month program where women detox their lives and thrive. And welcome to the Full Life Detox Immersion webpage. So I have a couple questions for you. Do you ever feel like you're too much? Do you feel like if you 100% fully showed up as yourself in the world, that you would not be able to be held properly by the people in your life, or that you would be too much to handle? Do you ever feel like you're not enough? Or maybe sometimes you feel both. Do you ever feel like you have to do everything on your own, or like you put other people's needs before yours on a consistent basis? Do you feel totally overwhelmed with your schedule? Do you ever feel like you wish you could find a community of soul sisters that would hold you during your struggles, hold you accountable to your deepest desires, and cheer you on as you cross the finish line? If you feel like any of the things I just talked about, if you identify with any part of it, I want to tell you right now that you have come to the right place. And that's because I felt exactly like you about 7 years ago. In fact, 7 years ago, my life was a complete mess. Physically, I was not doing well. I was constantly sick. I always used to joke around saying that I got every cold of anybody who was ever around me. I was also having terrible digestive problems. I had a terrible body image, spoke horribly to myself about my body on a daily basis, was on a binge, starve, diet cycle all the time. I had an emotional eating problem. And the scariest part was that at some point I started to develop symptoms of a pre-autoimmune disorder. In fact, I woke up blind in my left eye, and the doctors couldn't figure out what was going on with me. And after they pumped me full of steroids, I regained my sight, and nobody knew what was happening. The only warning I got was that I seemed to be on my way to an autoimmune disorder, and I was told there was nothing I could do to stop it. Emotionally, spiritually, career-wise, I wasn't doing well either. I woke up every day feeling like there must be something more to my life. I had these really deep desires that I really wanted to tap into, but I didn't even know how to go there in the first place. And I was afraid that once I did discover that thing that I really wanted to do, once I did tap into that desire, that it would completely alienate me from the people that were around me at the time. And if I thought about what I really wanted to do in my life, this huge list of things would come up, and I would get so overwhelmed that I would shut down and I would forget about it. It just felt like something was holding me back, and I didn't know quite what it was. Well, my sister, that's toxicity, and I don't just mean physical toxicity. I mean physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual toxicity. You see, I had life toxicity. That's what was holding me back. It was toxins in my physical body, in my mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. So I began to try detox. And of course, most detox programs out there only address you on a physical level. And so even though I would start feeling well physically, and even though I felt like my mind was getting a little clearer and my motivation was coming back to do something about what I really desired, I still felt like as soon as I got off those programs, I would go right back to feeling the same way I was feeling before. And I knew there had to be a way to sustain this, to keep this as part of my daily life without having to go on some juice fast indefinitely, because who wants to juice fast for the rest of their lives? I don't. So I created my pleasurable detox method. And that is what completely transformed my life. Today, I'm in the best health that I've ever been in. I don't have the relationship with my body that I used to have, where I was constantly putting myself down and feeling uncomfortable. I have an incredible community of women that I can go to with my struggles and who support me and keep me accountable to my deepest desires. And I have a career and a life that I love. So what did I do? I basically developed a 4-pillar method, which is part of my Full Life Detox Immersion program, that helped me get back on track and detox every aspect of my life that was holding me back. And these pillars became part of my Full Life Detox Immersion program. So I'll tell you what these pillars are. The first pillar is being in optimal health. Because let's face it, sister, if you're not feeling well when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to feel very motivated to go out and pursue your dreams or even figure out what those dreams are. So we got to get you feeling better. The second pillar of the Full Life Detox Immersion method is community. You see, when we're making changes to our life, when we're detoxing the things that no longer serve us, we start to make a paradigm shift. And making a paradigm shift, going after the things that we really truly want, can be very scary because a lot of the women that I speak to feel like they're going to lose relationships over it. And the old people in your life are part of the old paradigm. So as you move into the new paradigm of your life, the new part of your life that's detoxed and that has your deepest desires in mind, it can feel like that's a bad thing to do because let's face it, most of our lives we're told that we need to think about other people other than ourselves and that it's bad to fulfill or to be focused on our desires. So when you have a group of women who are unconditionally loving you, who are fiercely supporting you, who are making a stand for your deepest desires, it suddenly makes it safe and okay to step into this new life that you have been deeply craving. The third pillar of my method is radical self-care. And radical self-care is so important and was one of the deepest parts of my transformation. And that's because we live in a world where working 80-hour work weeks is the norm. And so taking the time to actually stop, take care of yourself, and connect with your body seems crazy. It seems like there's not enough time and there's too many things on your to-do list to get done before you can actually stop and take care of yourself. Well, what if I were to tell you that engaging in a radical self-care practice is the most important thing to get you on track to fulfilling and living your desires, and that actually including a self-care practice in your day would actually improve your efficiency. The fourth pillar of my method is pleasure. Pleasure was highly instrumental in my change and in the change that so many of the women I've worked with have seen. Because if you don't have pleasure in your life, you're going to seek it in other places, and places that are not necessarily the best for you. So by infusing and learning how to make time for, make space for more pleasure in your life, which is part of this program, you start to realize that you don't need to have that midnight snack anymore, and that many other behaviors that you were using to fill that lack of pleasure fall away. No willpower required. So if you like what you hear and you identify with this and you feel like you want this, I have a question for you. How much longer are you willing to put your desires aside? How much longer are you willing to wake up feeling like there's something missing and that you just want to find out what it is? Are you really ready to put your foot down and do something about this once and for all? If so, I want to invite you to the Full Life Detox Immersion. I'm limiting it to only 30 women so we can have a fierce, tight-knit, supportive community of amazing women who will support you every step of the way, including me. And I will be here. I will be here to hold you when you're struggling. I will be here to hold you accountable. You are not too much for me. And I have built this beautiful nest that's just waiting right here for you to come in. Come into your sanctuary, sister. I am standing fiercely for your desires.